Okay, what's up, seventh block, Algebra 1? Mr. Jones here, and yes, on this Wednesday we are going to be doing asynchronous learning only, which means we are not live with you. Um, so I miss you guys, and I can speak for Miss Martinez too. She misses you guys, and but I'm just going to I just made this video to walk through with you what you're going to be doing today. Today is kind of a review day for you guys because we're going to have our test on equations next class. So what I'm going to have you guys do, I'm just going to go through a few problems like we would in class for a review. Okay, there's no video lesson for today, except for this one, I guess. But yeah, so we're just going to walk through a few problems like you'd see on the test, and then there is an assignment that I'm going to have you guys do just on a worksheet or on a Word document. Okay, so yeah, let's get into those problems here. Okay, Algebra 1, let's do it. We're going to review some solving equations here, and like this one, I'm just going to put up like 3 or 4 problems, very similar to what you're going to see on your test on Friday. Um, and yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just show a problem like this, and then I'll pause the video, or I won't pause it, you can pause the video and work on it, and then right afterwards I will go over it, okay? But before you do that, happy birthday to Jessica in my Block 7 class. You knew I wouldn't forget, so happy birthday. Hope it's a great day for you. You don't have me live with you to tell you, so there it is. Okay, so go ahead, pause the video right now and work on this problem for a little while, and then we'll go over it. All right, so hopefully you completed it. Let's get into it. So with this problem, again, hopefully the first thing you notice is where this equal sign is, and you draw your borderline there, but we got some distribution going on, right? The number times the parentheses, right? This group. So I multiply here first. I would do 3 times 5. 3 times 5 is 15. And then 3 times x, just lump them together to get 3x. Okay? So that's step 1. And again, this side didn't change yet, so I just bring it down. So 7x minus 5 equals 15 plus 3x. Okay. Next thing I would do, right? I'm at this point where I've got 2 different x's, and I just got to get rid of one of them. Okay. Doesn't really matter which one. Again, I usually cancel the one on the right. So you minus that 3x from both sides. And again, you might not have done that exact thing, but if you didn't, that's okay. Hopefully we end up at the same place. So if you minus that 3x, you would get 4x minus 5 equals 15, right? And then we get this x by itself by adding 5 to both sides. So we get 4x equals 15 plus 5 is 20. And then divide by the 4 as my last step. And so x equals 5. X equals 5. Okay? So that is how you do a problem like that. Let me put up number 2. Okay, I got number 2 up here. I want you to do the same thing. Pause the video for a second. Work through this one. All right, so let's go through it here. So we've got the 2, right, multiplied by this group, right? And nothing to simplify over here. So I distribute there. Okay, so I do 2 times 4x would be 8x. And then 2 times this negative 3 would be negative 6. Okay, and then this right side stays the same. All right, so distribution, step 1. Okay, step 2, I'm going to try to cancel out one of these x's, right? Because I say same thing as the other one. I got x's on both sides. Okay, but hopefully you noticed when you minus that 8x, it cancels, and you minus that 8x, same thing. 8x minus 8x, it's gonzo, right? And so this is one of those special case problems. Okay, I didn't tell you ahead of time, but hopefully you realized that. All right, and then, but again, it's not just we're done with the problem. We have to say whether it is that we'd say the answer is no solution or all real numbers, meaning infinite solutions. Okay, so I bring down these terms and I see what I have left. And it'd be negative 6 equals 4. Okay, so remember what we said. This ending here is super important because that tells me which one it is. And we said if it's a number equal to a different number, which this is, negative 6 equals 4, that makes no sense as a math statement. Negative 6 does not equal 4. So when it makes no sense, it's no solution And again, if it was all real numbers, it would say not -6 equals 4, but -6 equals itself, right? That is when it's all real numbers, okay? But no solution is something equal to something else, okay? So there's number 2. Hope that makes sense. 2 more, and then we're done, and you can get going on the review homework and practice more yourself. Okay, we've got number 3 up here. This is our proportion, okay, our proportion problem, okay? So I want you to pause the video just like the other ones real quick. Pause the video, try this one, and then we will do it together. If you paused it and you're like, I don't know where to start, again, cross multiplication, right? I would do 3 times this top, right? Bottom times top, 3 times this top, and then 2 times the top of the other one, right? So hopefully that can remind you if you forgot, okay? But if you didn't, if you didn't start it and that helped, try it now. I'll walk away again, pause it here, and practice. Okay, so hopefully you got a chance to finish. Okay, just going from here, again, that cross multiplication. So top times bottom. Again, it doesn't matter which one you start with, just either one. So 4x minus 1 times this 2. Okay, okay, so bottom times top. That's the first one. And then on the other side of the equal sign, I have 3 times the other group. And then I actually, from here, do the multiplication, right? So I would do 2 times 4x is 8x. 2 times -1 is -2. On the other side, 3 times 5x is 15x. 3 times 11 is 33, okay? And so from here, again, what I'm doing is I am getting the x by itself, right? Or before I get the x by itself, I have to cancel one of these guys out, right? Because there's 2 x's. So I'm going to minus this 15x from both sides. When I do that, I'm left with negative 7x minus 2 equals positive 33, okay? And then from here, I get this x by itself, so I would plus this 2, okay? So negative 7x equals 33 plus 2 is 35. And then I divide by the negative 7, and I'm left with x equals 35 divided by negative 7 would be negative 5. So hopefully you got that, negative 5. Okay, that the start of it can be tricky, but hopefully you get it down to a place where you're able to solve. Okay, one more. This is going to be a word problem, and then we're set. All righty, got the big word problem up here. Okay, I want you to pause the video, read through this, take your time. Okay, I want you to do 2 things. I want you to set up an equation based on what this is saying. Okay, and then I want you to answer the question that it's asking at the end, okay? So take a while and do that, pause the video, and then we will go over it all in a little bit. Okay, so just reading through this, it says Rolando is comparing cell phone plans. He's getting a phone, he's getting it all himself. Okay, so he's trying to pick the right one. Narizov charges a fee of $40 plus $8 per gigabyte of data each month. And then AT&A charges a fee of $25 plus $10 per gigabyte of data each month. Okay, and so it's asking how many gigabytes of data would Rolando need to use for their costs to be the same between 2 companies. Okay, so we've gone over problems like this before, but just setting it up. Okay, again, I said it's really helpful. The first thing you want to look for in a word problem, other than the valuable numbers, right? That question at the end, right? That tells you what your unknown amount is going to represent, right? So X here, our unknown amount is going to be the number of gigabytes of data he would need to use, right? That's what X is going to represent here. Okay, so every time I see gigabytes of data, I'm going to put an X with it, okay? And so again, we're comparing these 2 companies, right? And we're wondering when will their costs be the same, right? When will their costs be the same? And so I'm wondering, my general setup of my equation, my made up companies, when will Narizov equal AT&T, or excuse me, AT&A, right? These are definitely not based on real companies, by the way. Just kidding there. So that's my setup, right? So I want this line to be kind of one side of my equal sign, and then the other one to be the other side. Okay. So just looking at this first one, Narizov, $40 plus $8 per gigabyte of data. Okay. So how could I set that up, right? $40. Okay. Again, does that $40 have anything to do with the X, gigabytes of data? No, it just says $40. So it's just going to be plain old 40. Won't have an X with it, right? And then $8 per gigabyte of data each month. Hey, that number has to do with my X value, right? So that's going to be plus 8X. So 40 plus 8X equals $25 plus $10 per gigabyte of data each month. Okay, so that would be 25, right? Again, 25 doesn't have to do with my variable, so I can leave it without the X. And then plus $10 per gigabyte, so that'd be plus 10X. Okay, so that is how I could set up an equation based on this scenario. Okay, and then from here, I would solve it. Okay, I would solve this equation. Okay, so let me get down low here and solve. Oof. Okay, so I'm solving this. Okay, so I would minus the 10x from both sides. Okay, and I would be left with 40 minus 2x equals 25. Okay, you might be saying, how can there be a negative? Okay, it'll get worked out, don't worry. So minus 40 from both sides, okay, because I'm trying to get this x by itself. So I'm left with, I'll continue over here. Okay, so I'm left with negative 2x equals 25 minus 40 is negative 15. Okay, and then I divide by the negative 2. So x equals negative 15 divided by negative 2 would be positive 7.5. And 7.5 what? $7.5? No, again, tie it back to the question. Okay, how many gigabytes of data? So 7.5 gigabytes. So what does that mean? Okay, tying this to the problem. This means that he would need to use 7.5 gigabytes of data for these costs to be equal to each other. Okay, so knowing that, right, if he uses a ton of data, if he is on his phone all the time, then he might want to get the one with the cheaper gigabytes per month, right? Even though he has to pay a little bit more for that fee, right? But if he doesn't use it as much, that's a lot of gigabytes. But if he doesn't use it that much, he could go with the other one, okay? So there we go. Okay, so I hope that's helpful. Again, now you can get going on your worksheet. It's on my Canvas page, and I sent it to you in that email as well. So you can get going on that. Our test is on Friday, and we will go over everything, all this stuff before that test. But thanks for following. Hope you've had a good day. Sorry it's a little bit weird with it being all asynchronous, but hope it's a great day. Like I said, Jessica, hope it's been a good birthday, and that's it.